If you're gonna do illegal stuff, at least cover it up. Hey everyone, it's Mara. I'm back with another video. So as you guys know, I recently graduated from high school. And I had a pretty good high school experience. I liked my school, I liked my teachers, had a lot of friends, just stuff like that. But there are some things that happened at my school that I feel like doesn't really happen anywhere else. There were just some things that would happen, and as a response to it, the students would be like, yeah, that sounds like something that would happen here. You know, just stuff like that. So I'm gonna be talking about that, giving some stories that happened. I don't think anything is like too bad that I absolutely cannot talk about, but these are just some things that were kind of weird and like whatever. So the first story, I was a freshman and I was riding the bus to school. We get a remind message on our phone, and that's just kind of how like the school was able to communicate with all the students. Like we signed up for this like mass texting thing. So everyone gets a text on their phone saying that the power is out at the school. Once we got off the bus, like once everyone got to school, we just had to go to the cafeteria and just wait for the power to go back on. But the thing is the capacity of the cafeteria, I think, was like 500 to 600 people, and there were 2,000 students. That was already like poorly planned, but I know they thought that the power was only going to stay off for a little bit. So I get to school, I go to the cafeteria, I find some of my friends, and we're just like, yo, power's out, it's so weird. And more people are getting to school, and it gets super hot, super congested, and the teachers are just being so strict. I mean, for good reason, but like they wouldn't let us leave the cafeteria, they wouldn't let us do anything, they wouldn't let us go home, it was crazy. And the power was off the whole day. The power never came back on. So at this point, it's like 10:30, 11 o'clock a.m. and you know, I've been at school since like 7:45, 7:50. So eventually, after like 2-3 hours of 2,000 students being shoved in the cafeteria, being herded like cattle, they finally agreed to let us go home. They were really strict about it at first. They were like, absolutely no one can leave. And then they were like, as long as we see a text or a call from your parents saying that you can go home, then you're fine. You just go, please, just go. So we just didn't have school that day, and that was really uncommon because I went to a public school. So if one thing is happening to like one school, it kind of affects the whole rest of the school, you know? Like, and I live in a pretty big county, so if things happen like in like the northern part of the county, it would affect the whole county, like for example snow days. So it was very weird for only one school to be off, and everyone was like posting on their Snapchat story like, no school for the day, like whatever. And I remember my friends from other schools that had class that day, they were like so like jealous about it. They were so weird, like it was the weirdest thing. So this next story actually happened freshman year as well. So the whole year we kind of were having some renovations at our school, and one of those renovations was they were redoing a lot of the floors. Like a lot of our classrooms had carpet in them, and obviously carpet gets disgusting after a while, especially like in a school. So they were just kind of ripping all of that up to put tile in. And you know, it kind of started second semester, like slowly, just, you know, a few classrooms were one day having carpet, and then the next day just had no floors, it was just cement. We have like a week off from school in February. I don't really know why, but it's just like one of our like week-long breaks we get. When we got back from that break, there were just no floors at our school. There were no floors. It was all just cement. And it was like that for the rest of the school year. And people from other schools were like, oh, you go to the school with no floors? When I would say like what school I go to, like a bunch of people from different schools just kind of knew our school as the school with no floors. We just lived and existed like that for the rest of the school year. It was fine. Like we had something, but it was just really weird. Going back to the renovations that our school had, we got a whole new building added to our school. So the building had like health classrooms, it had the basketball court and the theater, but we also had a basketball court and a theater in like the regular building. But the old theater used to be, I don't know if it still is, I don't think it still is, but it used to be just the place where students would go to just have sex. Yeah, I think after a while they started locking the doors to the theater like at all times except for when it was in use. So that's probably why it stopped. But I just remember this one story where it was this couple and they just were having sex in one of the dressing rooms in the old theater. It was like a birthday celebration or something. I don't know, but there was like a trail of rose petals like leading into the dressing room, and someone actually, I think someone from like the drama, like someone in drama club or something, found the rose petals and like the next day, and it was just disgusting. I think every school has had a vandalism scandal, but this one to me is just particularly funny. Okay, so I was editing this video and I realized that I told this story completely wrong. So I'm just gonna tell it how it is. So the new building and the old building are like front and center in front of the carpool line. So one day we get to school and there's just this spray painted picture of this monster. I don't even know how to describe it. I'll insert the picture right here, but it was just this monster and it said, "Please don't." And everyone thought, I mean, it was obviously bad because it was vandalism, but it was really funny. There was kind of like a big elephant in the room because like the teachers didn't want you talking about the vandalism, but like it's all anyone wanted to talk about. So they get it cleaned off, and I don't remember timeline wise how long in between these chain of events, but soon afterwards a second painting of the same monster was on the same part of the building, and I'll insert that picture right here. And this time they clearly had a lot more effort put into it because it was colored green and it said just a big fat F you, and it had the middle finger up. It was so funny and just strange, and I don't know what it meant, but I think it's a known fact of like who did it and like why they did it or something. I don't know. It was just really funny. There was another vandalism scandal, since we're talking about it, that happened this year, my senior year, and it was where like kind of on the outdoor patio, kind of where everyone eats lunch. If you want to eat lunch outside, like that's where you go sit, and it was just, you know, black spray paint, the classic F the principal, F whoever, and it was just so funny. Like it was bad. Like don't get me wrong, like it's really bad and it's just horrible. Don't vandalize your school, guys. Like I'm not encouraging that at all, but it's just really funny that happened. This story again is one I feel like that's happened in a lot of schools, but it's just particularly funny to me just because of what it is and how hush hush everyone tried to keep it. But it was just one of those things where like the teachers knew, the students knew, the admin knew, but like no one was talking to each other about it. You know what one of those things. I was a senior, so it happened this year, and before school, keep in mind, school starts at 8:20 a.m. That is too early for me to even eat breakfast, let alone go to the store and steal alcohol. There were juniors, I think it was people the grade below us. They're drinking it in the parking lot before school starts. I mean, people would come to school high all the time, but like coming to school drunk is like a whole other level. Like I just cannot imagine ever doing that. They get to school, I guess they're all drunk, I guess they have alcohol with them, and a bunch of guys just go into the bathroom and just start shotgunning beers. They left like beer cans just in the bathroom, which if you're gonna do illegal stuff, at least cover it up. But yeah, I think they got caught. I'm pretty sure they got arrested because, you know, drinking on school property, underage drinking, they probably robbed someplace to get it, you know, just a bunch of felonies. But out of all of that craziness that happened during my high school years, nothing will ever beat the story of one of the teachers at my school's nudes getting leaked. But that is a video for another day. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you thought these stories were entertaining. If you didn't go to my high school, please comment down in the comment section some crazy stories that happened at your school because I would love to read them. I know I've been kind of making a lot of high school videos, but it's because I realized I'm starting college in a month, so I kind of need to get all my high school videos out of the way before I start all my college videos. So it's just a weird transitional time, but thank you guys for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. Getting support from you guys is like the best thing ever to me. So yes, thank you guys. I know I've said it a million times, but I will see you in the next video.